Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Stripped Down Live. We're here in the studio with All Day Sucker this week. Big round of applause. As usual, afterwards you can find us on YouTube, and the YouTube channel is YouTube Streamin Garage, and that will be the Streamin without a G, because Mike doesn't know how to spell. So Streamin Garage. You can find us on Blip TV. You can find us, go to Roku and you'll find Blip TV. And also, of course, on our website, stripdownlive.com, and on iTunes. And in fact, we made it to the top 20 on the iTunes podcast today. That was a big thing, which means we were featured on the front page. So things are looking up. Maybe we'll keep this show going for a while yet. Today, as I said, in the studio, All Day Sucker, and they are playing, normally they're a 5-piece band playing very, very loudly and live. I've seen some clips and they're pretty damn amazing live. Here in the studio today, we have them stripped down somewhat. We have, not, of course, clothes-wise. We got the whirly, we got the acoustic, we got the stand-up bass, and, of course, Morty brought his voice.
Let's hope.
So please welcome to the studio, Strip Down Live. Welcome to Strip Down Live, All Day Sucker. It's the 3 syllables.
Sometimes I feel like my life is a dark and longing canyon, spanning across my time from companion to companion. Driving late at night, feeling stranded and abandoned, I gaze out into space for a race of understanding. There's no native sun protection keeping me around. Natural selection skipped this California town. I'm driving over Laurel Canyon, moon shining down on Crescent Heights. I'm driving over Laurel Canyon, wishing on every star in the night, looking for signs of life. Woo! Got me a couple of friends when I'm not straining their patience. My public relations have ill-maintained acquaintance. All my so-called friends have a SoCal understanding. They don't so-call me, and so I don't so-call them. Waiting for a spaceship to escape this foreign rain. Facets of these friendships forged along the diamond lane. I'm driving down Topanga Canyon, I'm tracing after trailing lights. I'm driving down Topanga Canyon, looking at nothing out in the night, looking for signs of life. Woo! I'm the native waiting when the aliens arrive, when the flying objects are identified. I'm living in a land of canyons, been standing on this beach all night. I'm living in a land of canyons, looking for something out in the night, looking for something missing inside, looking to leave this city behind, looking for signs of life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was off The Big Pretend, our newest album, available on iTunes and all transaction-y places that you can get anything nowadays, and Santee Alley. And the next one's another one off that album. This one's called Santa Ana. and a strange wind a-blowing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can anybody get along these days with everybody blowing their own separate ways? We've got so much in common, not the least our pride. That's why you're crying while I'm on the other side. Now in this house of love we've got an open soul, false communication through the bathroom door. I beg for your forgiveness from the hallway floor and pray for intervention from my very core. Santa Ana, come blow down this wall between us. Santa Ana, come blow down the wall between us. This wind's infected with uncertainty. It's silent as a cancer, violent as a sneeze, charmless as a hiccup, harmless as a wheeze, and every little breeze seemed to whisper disease. Oh, Santa Ana, yeah, come blow down the wall between us. Santa Ana, oh, come blow down the wall between us. Oh, climb down from your mountaintop to bring us hope. Come blow down the wall between us. Santa Ana, why won't you come blow down this wall between us? Oh, every closing door increases distance and leaves us both behind. That's why I'm pleading for divine assistance from the patron saint of wind resistance. Santa Ana, why won't you come blow down this wall between us? Santa Ana, why won't you come blow down this wall between us? Oh, oh, climb down from your mountaintop and end this wall. Come blow down the wall between us. Won't you wind down through your canyons to my baby's door? Come blow down the wall between us. Oh, 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 Santa Ana, yeah. Come blow down morning, quit your big pretending. Santa Ana, I can't stop begging 'cause our love's ending. Oh, we do another now? Yes, indeed. This is live internet. Thank you for taking your time out from not watching porn to enjoy us. We really do appreciate that. We'll get back to that in a moment. This is one off our first album. This one is called Camilla Rose, and this is for somebody very special. It's Jordan's cousin, and we messed with the lyrics a bit so that it wasn't about her, but now you all know, so it's out of the bag.
But she's special in the Olympics kind of way.
Yes.
Short bus.
And in the back. Okay. So this one's called Camilla Rose, and if I remember how it goes, yes, it's another one that Jordan starts, isn't it?
I do, and I will. And here goes.
This is the ode to Camilla Rose, the first on our block to wear fluorescent clothes. I don't know why I'm wasting my time talking about Camilla Rose, my best friend since we were 3. We communicate through ESP. We tried LSD. The trip wasn't bad till she told her mom, and then her mom told my dad. Camilla Rose, Camilla my God, you guys, you know you had to be there. You had to be there. While waiting in line to see how to hold, she confessed to me that she was Jesse's girl, obsessed with GH's Noah Drake's episode. 2 commercial breaks, I'd wait for Camilla Rose. Camilla Rose. Camilla Rose. Whoa! Oh my God, you guys, you know what? What? Oh my God, you guys, you know what? What? Oh my God, you guys, you know you had to be there. You had to be there. Dance amongst yourselves. Only film me from the waist up. Parked on Mulholland Drive, playing working class dog. San Fernando Valley, great twinkling through the smog. We went all the way, we didn't stop till that rent-a-cop caught our window fog.
Not for this song.
Here he is. I want to keep it apolitical. It got weird, then we got grown. Suppose we both got lives that were our own. But that's how it goes. Guess everyone knows somebody like Camilla Rose. Camilla Rose. I always knew that you were out of your mind. Camilla Rose. But now you know that you've never left mine. Pat Boone, Debbie Boone. Oh my God, you guys, you know what? What? Oh my God, you guys, you know what? What? Oh my God, you guys, you know you had to be there. You know you had to be there. Oh my God, you guys, you know what? What? Oh my God, you guys, you know what? What? Oh my God, you guys, you know you had to be there. You know you had to be there. Oh my God, you guys, oh my God, you know what? Oh my God, you guys, you know, you know, you know, you know. Oh my God, you guys, you know, you say. Oh, oh, ba-ba. My Camilla Rose. What? That was close. While we're resetting for the interview segment, to all you kiddies out there, Cole and Zoe and Beatrix, Wilder and Diva, we're all saying hello. You're allowed to be up for another hour.
The new album, which you did, and it's leading into the song earlier, The Big Pretend. You were saying it was like a, well, I mean, I was reading that you consider it like a concept album about Los Angeles, effectively. If we can use
or ineffectively. We're hoping effectively.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now, one, you say concept album, I mean, is it an album anymore? Because, of course, it's like a CD or a track or whatever it may be, downloads. And I got to say, I was kind of relating to it because the first song you were doing, the Canyons one, was like Everywhere I Go. One, I live off of Laurel Canyon. Two, my dog goes to Topanga Canyon a lot of the time. But you consider like The Big Pretend to be the new sort of, it's like the nickname for Los Angeles,
yeah.
Effectively.
That was the reason coming up. I heard somebody, you know, I'd heard The Pretend, and I thought, well, that's a pretty accurate portrayal of Los Angeles. Is everything sort of feels fictitious. I mean, when we speak of Los Angeles, I don't want to give a bum rap. He and I are born at the same hospital.
Right. I mean, you also go on to say you're actually proud of LA.
Yeah,
as well.
very proud. It's difficult because it gets, like I was saying, it gets this sort of bad rap by people that normally aren't from here, that are transplants. Yeah. And, you know, it's always the same sort of like everybody's fake and, you know, and all this stuff. And it's It's not. We're talking about, when we talk about Los Angeles in that way, they're talking about Hollywood, and they're really just talking about that flaky part of the theatrical version of Hollywood. And just like in any town where there's pollution, so, you know, if you get, I don't know, black lung in Arkansas, and you know, wherever you are, you pick up. Here it's like celluloid poisoning. It sort of seeps out, and everybody is associated with the business, or their barber is associated with the business, or their, you know, or their dog walks at a park that Kurt Smith's dog walks at. But it's like that, and then it filters out. So it sort of felt like the big pretend. There's always this sort of facade going on with everything, and I'm just, you know, at it. And I wanted to approach it starting with that, and then start giving, starts looking behind that.
Yeah, I mean, what was interesting to me, I mean, going through tracks, I mean, especially a track called Beverly Park, which I think you're playing that.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, delightful.
Where what's interesting to me, and a lot of the stories you're telling on the album, is because, you know, now I've met people that have grown up in Los Angeles. The fact that there is this whole other side of it. I mean, Beverly Park is specifically about this one area that's now the Beverly Center in Los Angeles that used to be an amusement park. Which
would you ever have thought?
I can't imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because I first came here, I guess, 20 years ago, and I mean, as long as
already
I've been
done.
coming
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
the Beverly Center's been done, and this kind of younger, innocent sort of, as you're growing up, a version of Los Angeles, most people don't know about. They don't see. You know.
I imagine wherever you're from, and the older you get, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, you tend to look at things that aren't there anymore. And with something like Beverly Park, which we'll play in a couple songs, it was like, you know, there was definitely the thought process of John Lennon wrote about Strawberry Fields, and Paul McCartney wrote about Penny Lane, and all these people wrote about things that were there when they grew up, and it was such an integral part of our history, because every kid about our age has these photos of them at this place, because it was, I mean, it's actually where Walt Disney came up with the idea for Disneyland. He would sit there because it predates Disneyland, and it was right there, and there were oil derricks around there, and
still are.
Yeah, and they're hidden. There's like one still there that you don't even know about near Tail of the Pop.
One's further down, La Cienega.
And Tail of the Pop was across the street, and it was one of those places where if you grew up all the way up until the early '70s or mid '70s, you remember it was you had a birthday there, or somebody had a birthday there, and I thought, wow, what a weird thing that, in relative history, hasn't been gone that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really hasn't been gone that long, and it's sort of pre-mini mall culture that 5 blocks away from your house, you could go to an amusement park where the Beverly Center is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know, I mean, I also have an issue having lived in LA now for 12 years. The people don't think there are neighborhoods.
Well, we tear things down a lot here, frequently. So, you know, there's a lot of...
We start with people, and then we move on to an animal.
And then we move on to amusement parks.
Yes.
But I mean, I had birthday parties there, and the neighborhoods, you know, there are neighborhoods. We're just really spread out, where most cities are closer, and I think we address a lot of that too in the record, and especially with Beverly Park. There's even like a Facebook group on people who, you know, who have been to Beverly Park.
And then the record itself was pretty much, it started off the way, I mean, we say concept album the same way that like Hotel California is a concept album. It really isn't. It sort of is just...
Well, it was a theme.
They are all... It's a themed album, but we do have an intro and an outro that really start with this kind of sort of cinematic...
Right.
You know, I really saw this Technicolor sort of widescreen, you know, brightly colored kind of, you know, Gone with the Wind sort of fade in epic, and then have it, you know, and then whatever happens and it tarnishes and things happen. And more than anything... And I'm sure anybody from, I don't know where you're from originally, exactly
Bath
where.
in England.
So, the Who's from Bath? Or is it
Bath.
No. Somebody's from Bath.
Peter Gabriel lives in Bath.
Okay, but somebody else is from, there's a famous artist in there, but when I was a kid and I'd hear about, like, even like I said, Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields Forever, I would hear about these places, and they're mythical. There's really a myth to these places. Now, if you're from there, even Abbey Road, we're talking about this much of a street, there's a myth to that, and from here, and having not been there, you go, oh my God, this is...
No, I think it's strange. I mean, when people do make it into a myth, because Abbey Road is a case in point. I mean, I've recorded at Abbey Road.
Right.
It's just a road.
But do you cross the street and do the thing?
Pedestrian crossing is right there in front of the studio, and of course you go, and it's like, but it just looks like a pedestrian crossing. I mean, it's not such a big deal, you know. And these things tend to be glamorized when they're actually just part of everyday life, effectively.
And that is really life. I mean, life becomes you adding a tremendous amount of memory to very banal subjects and very banal things.
Well, yeah,
because
and
it's, you know, it's your,
emotion
my welcome mat.
Yeah.
Remember the welcome mat we had at our house from the, that's
Yeah,
like
mine
a
just
big
said,
deal.
"Fuck off," but-
Right, but that's what I'm saying is, but I bet you missed
Trick-or-treaters
that when
must
it's
love you.
gone. I bet you'd
Do you
miss
think
that.
any trick-or-treaters get near my house? No. No.
You know, and so like that, and like that with anything else. With anything else, there was also, you know, like we were very influenced by the California rock scene of it. So Warren Zevon and the Eagles and Linda Ronstadt and and all these people that many of them weren't from California that spoke of these areas, like, you know, like Magnolia Boulevard and a Steely Dan song, or you'd hear about, you know, Sunset Grill. These are places we drove by. I'd still drive by every day.
Well, and also Los Angeles doesn't it have a sort of its bad rap is more recent. You know, I mean, if you think of
Hey, that's China. It's Chinatown, Jay.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you, because I mean, I think you mentioned in one of your interests
Bless
somewhere
you.
about, you know, sort of trying to run the
That's
gamut
live.
from the sort of the glamorous years through the 70s
Yeah.
of the hippie era in Laurel Canyon, which
Absolutely.
was incredibly creative, that era.
And I can, you know, I mean, like I said, there's nothing for us to fault creative-wise. I mean, let's be honest. Most entertainment is made here, or had been until they started
Until they
moving
got
away.
shipping it to Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're going to make a next record about
What's that
Vancouver.
about?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so more than anything, I mean, it's in our own way, sort of a love letter to Los Angeles.
I mean,
Because
what
it seems
does-
like people don't. I think the Chili Peppers are one of the only other bands
Yeah.
that unabashedly sort of give complete like props to Los Angeles. They really do. I mean, they're for, you know, some of the guys that aren't actually from here, but they have such a tremendous involvement with Los Angeles from, you know, from on up, that they feel such a you know, a familial quality to that. There's something admirable about that when you're from here. It might seem hokey to other people. This is our hometown.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't think it's hokey. I mean, and also I think it affects Los Angeles more than other places, doesn't it? I mean, in the sense that everyone sees this as very, as you say, the big pretend. Everything is very superficial. That's what people see. Yet there's
Yeah.
a life behind that, and there are
You
feelings,
can go
emotions,
10
and
minutes in
everything
any
else.
direction
Yeah.
and find salt of the earth.
Yeah.
Literally 10 minutes in any direction from anywhere and find. Like they say, it's a 30-mile zone or whatever. We're talking about a very
not-
small amount of
yeah.
people that are
Yeah.
in the industry, and everybody else are normal working.
It's still rare
people.
to find people who grew up
or
here.
used to be working.
I mean, we
people.
know all those people who grew up here because we grew up here. But
Yeah.
you know, people look at you like you.
And there's a lot
you
of
know.
transplants.
And a lot of people they shit all over it. But then, you know, if you're traveling around, you're like, "Where are you from? Los Angeles? Really? Yeah, I'm from Anaheim." You know,
that you do
yeah,
get
you're
a
like,
lot.
okay, yeah.
You're on tour and people look like, I'm from Costa Mesa, and you're like, right?
Yeah, it's like a good hour.
It's a
for
hop,
me.
skip, and a drive.
What's weird also, I mean, people from England find it actually, they want to be here. I mean, I have a weird sort of like dichotomy of people that I know, because I have obviously friends in England where I grew up who all like Los Angeles is like, oh God, it must be amazing to live in the middle of all those stars. And well, actually what they care about more is the fact that it's sunny all the time.
Yeah, that's what I
pretty
would say
much
is,
what
yeah.
they care about. And then I lived for 11 years in New York. So they're like, oh, Los Angeles.
Yeah, they have a
yeah.
problem with us. They have a
Well, the
different
East Coast,
problem.
West Coast thing
Yeah.
is very peculiar.
Well, it's you know Rome and Greece.
Let's not start a
and,
gang
Yeah.
fight
you know,
right
it's,
now.
It's all you know. It's just you know it's
Yet I will say this, for half of my friends that I lived that time with in Los Angeles, I mean in New York, half of them are now here.
oh yeah
Because what happens is we get older, we have children, we go, LA.
yeah.
LA sounds better to me.
whole
LA
family-
is not going to Florida. LA
No.
is making the is
Yeah,
making is
exactly.
not making the full commitment.
Well, I mean, it's and I think what people forget also is, you know, if you've got to be in the entertainment industry, there's a few cities you're going to be in. In America, there's pretty much two. There's New York and
Yeah.
Los Angeles. If you have
Now
a
North Carolina.
Oh yeah, but the main as you know, the main
Yeah, right. No,
centers-
no.
The main centers are LA and New York. Now, if you have a family, where are you going to bring them up? So this is one side of LA where I don't think people know about, which, you know...
And that's what happened with my family, especially. I mean, my dad's from Israel, and my mom's from Baltimore, and they met out here. But you know, they came here with their families. Dad started in New York and moved here. I mean, it really was sort of the place to come. I mean, really, it's the place you go before you hit the ocean.
Yeah.
So you know, you kind of go, all right, we'll stop here on the way to Mexico. All right, this is good. We'll stay here. You know, and it's. I mean, it's like you said about the weather. Well, it used to be until
Till today.
Until, yeah, it's- yeah.
fake global warming.
Yeah.
It having grown up with the weather like that, you know, now you know why everyone's smiling here.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you know, it's even the laconic pace is based on the fact that, you know, what are we rushing for? It's warm. You know, New York, I mean,
Well, and
everyone's...
also there's a choice of not rushing because the traffic's not moving. But
Well, now.
That's not really
yes,
choice, yeah.
Yes, yes. But some of us who remember...
But I do like the fact that you add this sort of romance to it on this album. I mean, even down to the album sleeve, which is the big snow globe.
Yeah.
Which,
And if you notice that, the idea behind it is there's supposed to be, you know, it's this really intricate design sort of thing, and then there's 20 of them all near them. It was the idea when you go into these... And you go into these shops on Hollywood Boulevard and you see this wonderful thing and you look at it and you're like, wow, it's amazing. And you back up and it's a shelf of them. You know, it felt like a very important image to me of this sort of.
Well, and also, but what I kind of liked is it's sort of semi-personalized as well. Which, Which, you know, I mean, the fact that you have canters on there.
Canners and La Brea tar pits, and lots of things you mentioned on the record.
Which are on the record, which actually people that come here are not familiar with. They don't really kind of know.
And they should. If you're ever in LA, go to Canners and go to La Brea tar pits.
Go to the tar pits, but don't eat there.
Well,
tar pits.
try and like stick a peg on your nose as well.
Yes,
for a
it
bit
does.
of
It does.
But
It smells rancid.
having made 2 trips there with the school, of course, because
field
each,
trips.
you know, 1 grade, my kids have to do a field trip.
I did it. I took Zoe to the museum there, and I was like, everything seems so small now. You know, it's the way it was when I was a kid. Everything was so big, and now it's small. And then I hope to get
but
shrunk again.
I mean, I like the way you've given people a glimpse into LA life. That's not what people see. Well, it's not basically what people see when they're driving on Mulholland in those topless vans with people pointing at where a famous
Those
person
are
lives.
everywhere
My
now.
cousin
Like, when
actually
we were
does
growing
that.
up, those weren't around as much, and I know every summer but they're everywhere now.
But what's the fascination? That's someone's gate.
Oh,
What is?
Yeah, but that's Johnny Carson's ex-gate.
But
or this is where
where's
Lucy
the
Ball used to
fascination?
live before they, you know, tore it down and then built something else.
Yeah, it's,
and-
I mean, but you know, like anything else we were talking about, that's the celluloid pollution.
But back
It's
in the day, they
pollution
used
of
to
that-
come out and
that's-
wave. You know, when it was
When they were
you know,
alive.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Now-
hardly wave anymore.
They're,
Really,
now
what's
they're
become
just
of
not
this town?
nice anymore. It's really
Jim's
going
trying to
down.
come out.
God,
What's
now,
happened? All
now
of
he's
our-
kind of a shut-in.
It's true.
I mean, I actually know some of the drivers. I just waved them while I'm running.
My
I mean, I see them
cousin's
when I'm
one of my
running.
cousin Stuart is actually one of the drivers. He drives, and I've caught him before, and he drives. Hey, everybody, there's my cousin. Hey guys, how's
And
it
I see him.
going?
I like to see him turning up one street. I'm like, Justin.
Do they chase you, or-
Justin? No, they don't care about me. They don't know who the hell I am, which is great. But no, but unfortunately, next door I have Zac Efron. So you know, there's normally someone parked there, or a couple of people.
That sounds like a
parked
delight.
there.
That's
You know,
what we're coming
just
over to your house to
waiting-
spy.
Just waiting for him. You know.
How do you go to sleep with? How do your daughters deal with having?
Well,
him next
they're
door?
over him now already. You know, he's a bit too old. You know, if Justin Bieber moved in next door, that'd be
That's
different.
true.
But you know, they have a very short attention span at this kind of age. You know, I have an 11-year-old and a nearly 9-year-old. So,
Okay, so
you know,
Bieber's right in the
Bieber's
pocket.
right in the
there, right.
pocket. Yeah.
in the
Unfortunately,
pocket.
for my ears at concerts, he's
Wow, you know, one
smack
till one
in the
hair is out of
middle.
place, and then he's in
Yeah.
the way of Bobby
You
Rydell.
have a way,
and-
but you had a girl in August. Did you have a baby?
I did. I had a baby August 31st.
Right.
Beatrix.
This
That's
is
right,
your
I'm wearing a
only.
little
This is your
underwear.
only one.
No, we have a little girl. We have a little girl named Zoe
have
as well.
sex.
Who Zoe is home. Which camera are we on?
Zoe's home.
Tell me, Zoe. She's probably watching right now. Zoe,
How old is
dance.
Zoe?
Every time I turn, you hit the camera. I love it. We'll do this one.
How old is Zoe?
Zoe is 2.5, and I'm saying hello.
my
and
kids-
Cole is 5.
Cole
He
is
is
5.
5.
Diva and Wilder aren't watching, so I'm not. You know,
Really?
They're like,
Never?
well, they're 11 and 9.
I
They're
know
like,
they
you
have
know,
an iTunes account though.
Yeah, no, they'll watch it tomorrow
Yeah,
or the
good,
next
okay.
day. Yeah, but they're like they're
They must
doing
have
something
homework.
else.
Doing well on homework.
Well, they actually had done their homework by the time I left.
Is this when they go,
I'm happy
Dad,
to
you
say.
said I like Justin Bieber. That's so lame. I
Yeah.
totally don't.
No, because they're quite proud of it. I mean,
Oh,
you
right,
know,
okay.
well, I mean, because actually, to be honest, with my 11-year-old, she's at a point where kids at school actually already sort of think that's uncool, but she just doesn't care.
Good.
She's like, I don't care. That's who I like.
Good.
You know, if it's uncool, it's uncool.
In the privacy of my own.
yeah, I
can
will like whom I like.
Yes.
Well, let's get on to some more music. At our next break, we're actually going to take in some viewer questions.
So
Should
far,
we have
there's
some?
viewers and there's questions.
There are. There's questions.
Far out.
We're hoping for viewers and we're hoping for questions. Kat will bring in some water.
Thank you.
Look at
How do
this.
you write? How do they write? Just in case they don't know. Do you guys? Is there something up on the?
Oh
screen
yes, you
telling
can
how to write
just
in?
go on to the strip down
Is the chat room on there?
stripdownlive.com chat room, and you can even actually probably on Twitter you can tweet them as well. You tweet. We're not doing Skype tonight because you know. We have
even
the
answer my own
technically
phone.
challenged Elaine over there on the Skype. You know, can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
But she can wave these two fingers at
But
you.
she can wave these two fingers at me, yeah. So we're going to have some more music and we'll come back in a little bit. You do answer the phone all the time.
I answer the
don't
phone,
you?
and you know what? I figured, here's what it is.
What are you doing?
In the old, well, Zoe said hi back when I said
Oh,
hi to
okay.
her. But I know,
cute.
it's adorable.
Yeah.
But when I realized that, there was that whole thing, well, if you're rude if you answer at dinner, and then you're rude if you're, and I thought, eventually it's going to be people that aren't going to make any eye contact, and it's all going to be lit up by their handheld devices.
At the dinner table, actually talking to other people.
To be
That's how we had
cutting
dinner
edge.
an
So
hour
wherever
ago.
I am, if I'm flying a plane, man, I'm going to have that thing right there answering somebody, because this is some high class stuff I have to get back
And
to
I have to
right
say,
now.
my daughter's actually just about to go on a field trip where they sleep overnight in a monastery. And they have to.
Good practice.
They have to, they go through all the things the monks go through and everything, which entails, which I only told her last night, from 9 o'clock at night and all the way to the end of breakfast, no talking.
Wow. You got to kill your dog.
But the reason I thought was like, can I take my phone?
Well, yeah,
Because
texting
that's
now?
what she
There
wants.
is texting.
She wants to text,
For whom the bell?
I'm like, I don't think
for
you
whom
can
the text tolls.
I don't think you can take the phone in there. Okay, well, welcome again, All Day Suck, and we'll come back with some more questions. Let's reset
So
up.
this next one is actually. Oh, is this my mic?
It might be.
Forgot where it
Did
went.
I take that
Oh
one?
no, mine's over there.
Yours is coming back in. Look
Okay.
at this. I can do all this at the same time as
And
well.
I think I might still be online. Let's see. That is who's this?
I think that.
No, that's-
I don't know whose
got the
is
straight
whose.
one and
Who got
here
got
we go.
one?
No, that's me.
No, this is your.
Give him the
Oh, okay, there we
no,
go.
this. Let me get. No.
Perfect. Will the artist stop touching the text?
It is indeed live.
You guys
I'd be-
protect
I'd be-
my artist.
If this was a union crew, I'd be screwed.
And this is a song off our first album again. Once again, they're all available on iTunes and everything. This is off the self-titled album, All Day Sucker. This one's called Heavy Weather.
1, 2, 1.
So you think life made a beeline right past you, and you think life had the last laugh at you too. Well, there ain't much I can do except for spending my 2 cents. Well, you ain't gonna leave even if I ask you. You come to a city where a face is bought and sold. You took a walk through the streets, although they're all depraved and gold. You can all take another card of fold if you're not that bold or better. Well, it looks like you're in for the heavy weather. Maybe overnight, Mr. Right is gonna solve life's mysteries. Someday your prince will come so you can get up off your knees. But if you think Prince Charming's gonna come, kiss it and make it better. Well, it looks like you're in for the heavy weather. Listen. Putting all your money in a hole ain't gonna make it or wishing well. You might be a pillar if you got down off that pedestal. I got a hunch old lady like a sucker punch you every time you let her. Yes, it looks like you're in for the heavy weather. Yeah, Jay is my weatherman. Your money in a hole ain't gonna make it a wishing well. You might be a pillar if you got down off that pedestal. Life's a bit of that bitter chill Get yourself a sweater, yes. It looks like you're in for the heavy weather. Release the acoustic balloons and doves. Heavy weather. Heavy weather. Yeah. Heavy weather. Heavy weather. Yeah, wow. Overly. And now we're going to play that song, Beverly Park, that we were talking about. So any of you other Los Angeles Hollywood kids, maybe Cedars of Lebanon babies, any of you other kids out there, this one's called Beverly Park. And then the ghosts made some noise out there.
1, 2, a 1.
Nothing in this world will last forever, and soon you'll reminisce, where are they now? And any dream that lives past adolescence, man's pre-planned obsolescence won't allow. Can you imagine living in LA then, with a kiddie park right there in our backyard? From La Cienega to San Vicente was heaven on Beverly Boulevard. Oh, I still get misty when the memories jog, or maybe it's a smog. The Latchkey Kingdom kids frozen in photographic history on the trains and ponies at Beverly Park. What a time to be a teen romancing. Amusement parks make such bemusing dates, with Watergate and Vietnam and Manson. The bad news barely made it through the gate. Well, it might have only been a rundown fairground with some flea-bit ponies and some rotten rides, where cotton candy flowed like polyester. And so do all my yesterdays, just like the scarecrow when the train collides. Oh, I still get misty when the memories jog, or maybe it's a smog. The Latchkey Kingdom kids frozen in photographic history on the train ponies at Beverly Park. Carpools were arranged to take us to the game. Orange wedges, halftime, happy faces. Sundays we would spend every other weekend. Giddy kids with guilty fathers, new girlfriend. They lied when they said that they would reopen. We cried and hoped and prayed from spring to fall, but nothing stops that progress wheel from turning. And when we all returned, they had replaced it with a big brown shopping mall. I still get misty when the memories jog, or maybe it's the smog. The Latchkey Kingdom kids frozen in photographic history on the trains and ponies at Beverly Park. Oh, 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 I still get misty when the memories jog. It's gotta be the smile. Latchkey Kingdom kids frozen in photographic history on the trains and ponies at Beverly Park. Take me back to Beverly Park. Thank you. Just a wee bit theatrical. I swear to God, we won't talk as eloquently or as epically as the last break.
You were getting cabaret there for a second.
You know what? I don't mind that. I decided we were signed to a record label a while ago that won't remain nameless.
Okay, Electro and Interscope.
Yeah,
that one. The second nameless one.
The second
and at
nameless
one point,
one.
the head of the company came into the elevator. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm mic'd up here.
You're mic'd up.
Well, I prefer to treat the microphone like a stand-up comedian. So I never know what to do because if I don't do that, I get
the head of the record company.
So the head of the company got in the elevator
mention.
with our manager, who had another artist on the label.
I wonder if it's the same head of the record company who invited me for breakfast one time. But that's
Jimmy I.
Jimmy I. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
Right. So he got, and with nothing bad to say about him. He was actually great at the label. But at one point he got and he said, "Did I sign a fucking music act or a comedy act?" And we never thought there had to not be a theatrical part of. I've realized in America, and this is one thing, in English I've noticed the difference is, I love Robbie Williams. I like it because he's unabashedly a performer and he takes the piss.
Yeah, America doesn't get that.
Yeah,
that's why he's never really taken
the piss. In America, everything's cathartic.
Well, because he's taken the piss and they think he's actually really into himself.
And the thing is, to a degree, he's into himself as much as any performer is. He still wants to sound good and he still performs. But when we would perform, I never understood. In America, there's a high sense of catharsis. That's why bands like Creed, who are so po-faced, unabashedly like goofy and pious, and then it's like when they fall from grace and the guy does a sex tape, people are shocked. Like, a rock star did a sex tape and he was wasted? My God, what does this world come to?
Well, that's music and comedy right there.
Yeah. And so I never understood that whole when we were younger, people, you looked at the Doors and you looked at these bands, very serious, this is serious. We write about subjects that matter to us. Some are serious, some are not, but everything is ultimately sort of humorous.
Well, sure, yeah.
And theatrical, why not? We're performers, isn't that the point?
Well, no, I mean, and there is a lot of humor in what you do. It's very, very apparent.
He is a fucking funny piano player.
Yeah. That C was hysterical.
That had me
that was
smiling
too
over there.
Jewish. I think it was a little too, yes.
Being the Jew.
F's are not Jewish, C's very Jewish.
Minors are Jewish.
Yes.
The minors?
Yes.
Minors are Jewish? They are?
No, not all of them, but once they get to a certain age.
Jewish minors.
But that was, so you had problems with record companies thinking that there was comedy involved.
No, it wasn't comedy. It was just that there was a lot of personality.
Right.
There was a lot of.
Well, and also I'm guessing, judging by it. What the hell are you doing down there?
Mike in the way.
We're talking to a fellow who's wearing a Barry Manilow belt buckle. I keep it close to my heart, as it were. And a Jeff Lynne T-shirt. And so, and the Beatles. And so, these are bands that there was a theatrical quality to. I mean, the Beatles bowed after every song.
Well, there were theatrics too. Yeah, exactly.
They were a rock and roll band. They sang whatever song yesterday, and then they all bowed. I mean, you can't get more theatrical than a bow.
You're talking about record companies who actually make these cookie cutter acts that are completely theatrical, but they're just supposed to be seriously theatrical.
Well, it's weird. It's like it's all right if the video, it's all right if the video has actors in it. But there's something wrong with. I never understood that and I think there's a throwback. Jordan's father was an actor, and my mom used to sing musical stuff. She toured as a kid in a musical band and stuff. And so we come from very. If you haven't guessed it yet, we're of the Borscht Belt era. We're sort of the next step. Of,
we were born in a trunk.
We were right on the side of the stage. But we were born, and the music we emulate. A lot of it is musical theater. And a lot of it is theatrical music, so and we never saw anything wrong with.
You're slowly building your way up to the Poconos.
What we're shooting to do is we want to eventually make a musical about the prodigals of Zion, because we think it's about time, and if two Jews can't get backing for that,
We'll back into it. Is
There's
what
the
we'll do.
producers. Anybody wants to make a back, have that. All right. I think DreamWorks will be on the phone for that.
And well, actually, I mean, if you're going on, that it kind of leads into the fact that you do actually do this thing I think you still do it on
Tuesday night, yeah, Kibitz Room.
The Kibitz Room.
It's at Cantor's. 20 years ago.
Well, explain what Cantor's is to those not from LA.
Cantor's is
a fantastic Jewish deli.
Where am I talking?
It's a deli.
It's a camera.
Okay.
It's a
It's a deli.
Cantor's Deli is located at Fairfax. It's at 421 or 419 Fairfax. It's a 20 years ago, there were a bunch of bands that all hung out together. Guys that eventually became the Wallflowers,
right.
and then bands called the Freewheelers and the Hoodwinks, and Girls Bones Found, and all these local bands. We were all in our early 20s, and we all wanted something that emulated the Greenwich Village scene of the 60s,
right.
or the San Francisco scene. And there really weren't a lot of options for us because the Sunset Strip was still a very hair metal place, and we were people that weren't in that sort of music. And it allowed us comfort on a Tuesday night. Rami, who then joined at that moment to the Wallflowers, he'd gone to Fairfax, which is right across the street from their high school, and we went to uni, which is in West LA. And so we all hung out in the area. We grew up there, and at Cantor's there was this bar there, and around the piano there was actually the soft bar part about it, and people just sit there and play Melancholy Baby. And no, really,
It was.
fucker, come on.
I should have learned
No
that.
tip jar, no. Yeah,
So we were. I mean, it started very organically. It was New Year's Eve. We were
Right.
sitting around and
earlier
playing.
than New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and
That's
then
why I invited you.
and then we kissed at midnight.
Oh.
And
Next time I
then
think.
someone
Wow.
brought drums and guitar. It just kind of built on Tuesday night, and it was an open jam, and we would play.
Not
a
open,
song.
not open. Don't come down with your Carvel guitars.
Carvel, yeah.
Your Carvel
Made of ice cream.
Lucky to Louie.
Louie the Whale.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, with your Carvel guitars and your Marshall ads.
Fudgy the Whale.
Fudgy the Whale. Fudgy the Whale. Says Dan Rothschild from off screen.
Thank you. From
Yes,
the
from the
East
East
Coast.
Coast. No, and we started doing it years ago, and we did it for a really long time, and then I sort of ended up being by de facto the last man standing. And I'm a DJ also in Los Angeles, and so I started DJing there with some friends, and then we turned it into another thing after it had its original popularity, doing all DJ, and then that stopped after I think 4 years or 5 years, and then 2 years ago we all started talking and said, there still isn't a place for all of us to. I mean, there's like Largo and those guys, and they're great, but there's a certain element, there's a cachet to playing at Largo.
Largo's quite serious.
Yeah, and there's, and even with, I mean, John and Brian and all these people are amazing, but there is sort of this kind of closed cadre of, professional
Have you ever tried to get a
musicians.
ticket to Largo?
I've been
hard
on
now to
stage here and wasn't allowed in. But there's that thing,
I don't mean actually get one. I mean in the sense of buy one.
to get in.
Yeah, I mean just.
I imagine
there's no like it's a whole rigmarole you got to go through
yes,
to
exactly.
actually get someone
Call
on
my
a phone.
agent and yes.
No, you got to get someone on a phone who may not be there most of the time, and
To
then
get
you've
you
got to
in.
give them a credit card over the phone to go on the list to get. There's no online.
Oh, I didn't know
There's
that.
no just like I'm going to go online to get myself a ticket. It's like this whole complicated procedure to get a ticket, which
I'll hold the
was
back
kind of
door
yummy.
open for you next
Yeah.
time.
Anyway,
Sneak in. But no, so
That's
there was we really wanted this camaraderie for a place, and there was a coffee shop called the Mad Hatter, which we all used to go to all the time. And then Jay Gore, who plays guitar with us, in between, we were in a band called The Imposters for
Right.
years with a bunch of people Josh, who's watching, with Charlotte and Lily. See, that's what we do. And Jen.
And it was the Imposters that were signed.
The Imposters were signed to a
Elektra
couple. We
Interscope,
played
yeah.
the Viper Room
Yeah.
forever
2
on
years
Sunday
on a
nights.
Sunday.
And we did a lot of residencies, and we did the Mad Hatter for a while in between the Imposters out of high school, because we started in high school, breaking up and getting back together again. And then Jay was with us in that incarnation, and then Josh, our old guitar player, came back. We did it again. We'd gotten signed both times at that point out of high school. And then we were doing the Kibitz, and that's when we met Dan Rothschild, who
Right.
plays bass with us. And Dan played in a band called Radio Flyer, which became Tonic, as well as being an amazing producer. Did the Better Than Ezra record, and he's an amazing. I mean, it's
So it's
amazingly
a community
fortunate
where
for us.
a community
Yes,
where you get
and,
to
and
meet.
had we not
everyone.
had that, we never would have met
Right.
these people, and that was the whole point. We never understood why there wasn't more of that in Los Angeles, and it's a dream. And so Tuesday nights now, all the Fockers, which we had way before the movies did, it's Friends of Cantor's Kibitz Room, and we've been doing that with, I want to name them, I'll leave somebody out, but there's a webpage on Facebook. It's the Fokker, Fockers. I don't know what it is on Facebook, but it's on there, and you'll find
You'll find it.
And we play there every Tuesday night. whether there's people there or not, we have a great time. We play for 3 or 4 hours. We stream of consciousness, anything that comes to us. People might come down and play. We've had literally anybody show up there in the time we've done it. Lenny Kravitz and the Black Crowes and Slash and the Chili Peppers.
Pointer Sisters.
Pointer Sisters.
Pointer Sisters.
Yeah. You can find the YouTube clips
See,
online.
suddenly I was impressed. See,
Right.
no, the names leading up to
I kept going like Prince Charles, Tony Blair.
But it's like a lot of
Pointer
it's
Sisters.
guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
We play what we want, what someone wants. I always wanted to play that stupid disco song that I liked when I was 5.
Right.
We'll play that. We'll play.
Yeah, we'll just go into it. And so that was the dream. It's now that we're on the other side of 20. It really still is a great place because all these people are session players. I mean, every one of the people we're fortunate enough to play with have gigs. I mean, Dan goes out with Melissa Etheridge soon. Jay's out with Mindy Hebert. I mean, and amongst all these other studio things, and we're left sitting at home in our
Going, when is
Who we get this week? But
How's the
this is
bridge
why
go? When
you,
does Dan come home?
undoubtedly, this is why you need the Kibitz room. Then is it purely?
It's a great place.
Well, no, because when they're off actually doing things where
Absolutely.
people pay them money,
It's practice. It's
you
staying.
can,
It's staying. Yeah, it's
you can
sparring.
find other people.
It's poker night. You know what it is? It's poker night for us. We all get together and hang and play, and it's casual. It's
But was
fun.
it? I mean, what was interesting to me, and I'm obviously know all about this from reading about you guys, was the fact that you still have that passion for it. The fact that you still do this every Tuesday, and yet you've been through that process of being signed to not one but 2 labels, right? Which
Which
both
more
of
importantly
which
dropped.
Yeah, but both of
the
and
signing
before,
part was Kate.
and before a record came out, though,
3.
right?
Yeah.
Before any
Two
record was
records were
released.
made. That's the
Right.
interesting thing about it. We did that. And
So
then,
you see how
yeah.
dysfunctional the industry is from the inside.
It's an
and
industry.
yet, you
It's
know.
an industry. I mean, I think we're seeing a lot of that now, which is really a shame because we're seeing that we're watching America slowly fall apart. We're watching the recording industry definitely falling apart.
Yeah.
And by the way, which is why Mike Rotman, who asked us to do this, is an old friend. This is an entity that is being streamed to you in your homes of live music. We're incredibly grateful for this as well because this is an opportunity for an hour or more of talking.
However long it
However
takes.
long it
you
takes.
know.
But this is an opportunity for us to showcase material that probably you wouldn't have any other way of seeing. And any other bands that are out there, please flood them with requests to get on here because this is an incredible and not they.
And you can
And
watch it without wearing pants.
And I'm going to give it back though because it's American money, and if you gave me British money, it'd be worth something. It's and I could take a good pound.
You take credit cards?
Yeah, it's a no. It's and we are. And by the way, very much proud to be proud to be interviewed
What
by
he
you
said.
and
See,
on
that's how it
your
works on
show.
Tuesday.
Our drummer Dave Goodstein, who's on the road right now in Miami, is kicking himself because he's a huge fan as well.
I mean, we don't allow drummers in here.
No, that's the thing. Is if he were here, we would have had him do something.
He didn't
you know?
know. Actually, we do. They come and play percussion, but you know.
But no,
I
but he
mean,
was
for
a big
me,
fan as
I mean,
well, so.
to be honest, I mean, along with Mike, and I have to say, you know, the reason this started was I had a conversation with Mike where there isn't anything. I mean, for me, there's nothing for me to watch, particularly listen to. You know, I grew up on the old Grey Whistle Test. I don't know if you're familiar with that show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm like, why isn't there something where it's actually where people can have a long conversation where the people you're talking to and interviewing are articulate, they're making great music, yet they're
The fuck
they
we
might
are.
Speak
good
for your
music
fucking
to
self.
That's the
Good music.
entire clip. That you
yeah, good music to someone.
Yes.
You know, and you know, brainstorming is like that. There isn't anywhere, and the fact that the internet allows you to do that, and also there is no limit. I mean, as you were saying earlier, we got an hour, and it's like no.
Yeah, we could just keep going.
We can go for a
I'm
long
just going to
time.
start plugging products until somebody sends us some free shit. DJtees.com. That's where I get all my shirts. I'm not wearing underwear, but when I do, but like you were saying about the Old Grey Whistle Test, is the amazing thing about that too is most of us grew up with American Bandstand, which, as we all know, is all lip synced.
Yes.
So
having been
Old
on
Grey
it
Whistle,
and
I was
by
going
a
to say.
very strange man. You know,
was-
when I first came here and did American Bandstand, I'm like,
What was the first song you
I
guys
mean, it
did?
wasn't the first time I'd lip synced. Obviously, I'd done that before.
Top of the Pops was lip synced.
Yeah,
right?
of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
Or sometimes it was live. Sometimes it had live vocals. But Dick Clark, it was like, what a weird guy that was to me.
Huge head.
Because it was just so, like, even in person, he was so plastic.
Hi, Dick Clark. Right.
It was just so strange, and you knew that when he was talking to you, he was like,
Well, he had a face of a DJ.
Like that,
He had
yeah.
a face of a radio DJ.
Yeah.
He had the face that you heard on the radio. You heard like, hi, it's Dick Clark. We're making you this.
Right, right.
And that's what you imagine. The guy was like,
he's
always like this.
he's morphed into Rick Dees and then Ryan Seacrest.
Exactly.
You know.
What I would too. If you pay me, I'll morph in anything you want.
If you pay me as much as they're getting paid,
Oh my God!
I
You
will.
clip me off a little. Anything that
Yeah.
falls out of their trousers, I'll take. Yes, I said that. But no. So with something like Old Grey Whistle Test, and we obviously we got them late because
Yeah.
I'm watching on a DVD now and everything. But you watch it and you're like, oh my God, Bill Withers playing live in a studio. And in all honesty, it's a guy with a guitar and a couple of
Yeah.
players. So it would never have gotten on one of these shows. Maybe
No.
Soul, but even Soul Train, they needed people to be able to sort of
Yeah.
dance to it.
Well, they had all these dances on all those shows.
Yeah, and it's just weird to watch like this thing
Yeah.
and feel this connection, this real connection with human beings too. They spit when they sing and they
Yeah.
sweat and they forget
Well, even,
words
and
they,
even
yeah.
just the talking aspect. I mean, most
Absolutely.
of those shows, all those shows, didn't want an artist to speak. Well, because they were just effectively product. I mean, most of the time,
Exactly.
Obviously, Old Grey Whistle Test was different, but things like American Bandstand, Top of the Pops. Anyway, I've never spoken on Top of the Pops.
But they
you
never
know.
do one of those things like, what's your name? And what's your name?
Well, no.
That's enough
Actually,
from you.
not even there.
Really?
And if they did on other shows, it would literally be limited to that.
to your name. And who's that guy over
yeah,
there? All right.
and here's the new album, and that's it.
And
now go.
to commercial.
Which is
and you're done.
effectively
Yeah, moving
what
on.
they are. I mean, that was how MTV bred. I mean, really, so MTV started off as we'll play what we got, and then it slowly became make stuff for
Yeah.
us to play, and now it became we're not going to play shit. And
We're
now
not gonna
just
play any
gonna-
music, yeah.
We're not going to play any music. Music's actually going to be filtered.
I think what was
in.
your quote on the MTV Awards this year? I seem to. I haven't
Did
had
I-
as much fun since the last time I saw. I
forgot what I wrote. It was on my
I
Twitter.
didn't see real artists not make real music.
Yes, that was what it was. Yeah, I think- I can't remember how I
Words to
said
that
it.
effect.
I was just shocked. You know
that
what?
was my second favorite tweet to the one you did about your new daughter. But anyway,
Thank you.
It's like having a very small, incredibly cute junkie living in there.
It is. It is. It really is. If anybody has a baby, it's exactly like that. It's like, oh, hey, man, I don't know. Why? I don't know. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, man. You ain't up, man. Come on, dude. Come on, just give me a bottle.
Because I mean, to be honest,
just give me a bottle.
mine have passed that stage, but that's exactly kind of what it's
Yeah,
like.
it is really what it's like. You
Yeah.
sit up there and you get up at all
I don't
hours.
care.
You're like,
I'm
oh,
up.
Who's on the phone? It's Beatrix. Oh,
You know, when they
Christ
get
again?
older, it's like having like a foreign student staying at your house, where they kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand more, but they don't speak the language.
No,
So-
they actually realize you don't understand what they're saying.
Well, so yeah, Zoe's now.
talk
So there's
funny.
no point talking to
the
you.
2 and a
anymore.
half year
They talk
old.
funny. They have
She
high
actually knows
voice.
how to use a phone, but she doesn't know how to write anything. Here we go. Let's see what it said. Oh, I'm actually getting here. Let me show you this.
You were flat
I'm
on
getting
the
a
chorus,
photo. I believe I'm getting a photo of her performing to us on the air.
Can we zoom in on that?
Can we see
Can we
that?
zoom in on
Let's
that?
see.
Can we?
Zoe is standing on a chair, so she's performing. Can you see her?
Yeah,
not that
there
tall.
she is. She is performing live.
And yes, I'm on Sprint. Okay. Send free phones our way, courtesy of alldaysucker.net. Yeah, having kids is a wild ride that we're still, taking. And
It's a great one. Though, I have
astounding.
to say.
They say it's the hardest job you'll
Yeah.
ever love. That's
Yeah.
what I've heard about it.
I'm just nearing.
that's, I think, Elephant
I'm nearing
Trainer.
the stage of another tweet of yours actually, which is can't wait for the synchronized menstruating.
Yes, that's it. We have 3 ladies in the house.
I have 3 women. Yes.
I have
So-
my partner Jody, and then I've got Zoe, and then Beatrix, and then all 3 of them. I figure. Well, I'm hoping to be dead.
No, what
So
will
that's
happen
what
is,
I'm
and we're just
I'm
getting in
shooting
because I
for.
have an 11-year-old diva who is, is aptly named. But
Now.
yeah, but what happens is, and you'll actually be probably watching with an amused look on the sidelines because it's going to be them and mom getting at it. That's what's going to happen.
I know. And all you know what we all put our parents through hell, and then our parents all say the same thing. I hope you have a kid just like you. And then when you're young, you think it's a compliment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think I'll be fucking lucky if I have a kid like me. And then you get a little older and you go, why is her middle name Carlin? God damn it. But we know the first 7 words she's gonna say.
Yes, we do.
So that's good.
Which are the
and
7
we can't
words?
say them here.
Oh, okay.
We could say them here. We're
No,
not.
I'm
What,
kidding.
yes, you
Of
can.
course we
What are the
can.
first 7 words?
Got shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tizz.
So of course.
That's it.
Hence
That
the
was her
Carlin
actual
reference.
That's
Okay.
her middle, that's
yeah.
her middle
Yeah.
name all the way to the
That
end.
is my
Oil
middle name.
at the end.
Yeah.
All the way?
We have not that.
That is your
not
middle
the
name.
7 with an
One
and as
second.
addendum, but yes.
Okay.
It's Beatrix Carlin.
I'm going to have to get to some questions. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
oh my
see
God,
there's some coming up.
people are actually still alive?
Because Elaine, you know, I was keeping it going because Elaine's just working out how to use
Absolutely.
it.
Tell me. Elaine! Elaine!
Tiffin 28, how would you best describe your music? Well, you kind of did. Well, no.
You said the new California
Like this.
sound is how
Yeah.
you can't. You have to hum to it. That's how
Talking
you
about
describe
music is like dancing about architecture?
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
it. It's like fucking about politics.
Yes, it's a two-step about it, the Chrysler Building. I don't,
It's about.
it's hard. You know, we asked for quotes, and you have to say, "Oh, this band meets that band with that baby with this band," and it's.
They're all meaningless at the
they're
end.
all-
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I think.
Listen to it and make up your own.
I think the important thing is, well, the thing with music is people, unlike a lot of other, you know what? No, I'll say a lot like. Here's probably a political
Analogy?
Yeah, analogy, and sort of something similar about that is, if somebody's a Democrat, you sort of already know what they're about. It's how far from the Democrat they jump. So if they're a Republican, you go, they're Republican, but they're pro-choice, and then they go, whoa, okay, so you're little. So that's what it is with music. They go like, well, they play pop music,
Right.
but not like. And a little bit like,
And a little
but
bit
it's
more towards
classic,
the-
and it's, you know,
and there's a bit of humor thrown in.
exactly, and then you start mixing it up. I think if you know us, you know we love, like I said, we love musical theater, we love theatrical music. So you know, while again the Beatles are God, it starts at like the Beatles is the blueprint for the band.
Right.
It's
And then-
trickle-down theory.
Yeah,
from
and
the
then
Beatles.
everything else along the ways. Every band you ever come across, we used to say even when we were kids, we're less of a band and more of a record collection.
Well, I mean, aren't you influenced by every band? So it's hard.
You
to pin it
you
down,
have
know.
to be. I mean, the weird thing about it is.
Well, because as you grow, your musical tastes change anyway. I mean, if I'm speaking personally
Yeah.
initially I was into like power pop music, which was Slade, Sweet, you know, English bands that played very loud but very catchy songs, and then got into like, you know, became a teenager. So I love Black Sabbath.
Mike Chapman produced our
Black
our
Sabbath,
record.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike
like,
Chapman
you know,
produced our second
there you
album,
go.
so we heard a lot of the stories about the Blondies and
Yeah.
about the Sweet and,
Yeah, the
and about
Sweet.
everything else he did perfectly.
Chin and Chapman.
Yeah, Chinny Chap.
Chinny Chap.
Yes, he did the
they were
second album
huge,
with Kevin Shirley on engineering. If we're going to give props, but yeah, we love pop music. It starts at a pop music structure, and you know, and then pop music has become so big. I mean, remember pop music at one point was Gershwin
Right.
and Cole Porter and things like that, and which we love as well because to me, as a lyric, and most of the time it's lyrics and music, but as a lyricist, I take an incredible amount of umbrage that like Hal David's never mentioned, but Burt Bacharach's all over the fucking place. How is Hal David? It would just been da 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 da. You'd be in an elevator going like this, that song. But do you know the way to San Jose? Now you remember the song, you know. So there's that thing about that. You know, I'm a Paul man over a John man because while I love the Beatles equally all over, even Ringo. But I mean, Paul McCartney was an incredible melodic writer,
Yeah, he
and the
was,
lyrics sort of got in the way, which is always funny because I thought
Yeah.
Oasis got it backwards. Like, why would you rip off John's melodies and Paul's lyrics? You know, if you're going to be in a
Exactly.
band,
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
John's lyrics were better. Paul's melodies were better. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
and
the
so
same
they
thing.
luckily had that. But when you really listen to, you know, I think, and as you get older as well, I'm sure you find the same thing. Is you become,
Your parents.
and you don't care about saying I like Billy Joel and I like Elton John.
yeah,
and
those
I
are
But
guilty
I've got to say,
pleasures.
I've never really understand the whole pop music, title anyway, because pop music is popular music. So what if this stuff is incredibly popular?
It means
but
top
not
40.
popular
I mean,
to
yeah.
everyone.
And well, at one point, everything was pop music because
yeah.
that was all that was on the charts. At one point, the fucking Singing Nun kept
Yeah.
Louie Louie out of first place. I mean, if you really go back in time, Dominique Nicky Nicky was top of the charts.
Yeah.
The
Chuck
Kingsmen
Berry, My Ding-a-Ling
weren't.
was a number one.
It was his only
His
number
only
one.
number one,
No, his
yeah.
only number, and then he made a number two.
And then he did.
Yes,
and that rocketed
we
right
have
back
that
up to number
video
one.
too coming up next, folks. Yeah, so
Google it.
yeah, so we're the California rock sound and
to
the
answer-
modern California rock sound, and like I said before, we're the non-funk brothers of the Chili Peppers. So we're like the other people while they're popping. You know, we're trying to keep a strum going. So we respect the hell out of that, and we'd like to be that other alternative to drive on the way home from a Chili
Right.
Peppers concert.
They're the dark ones. You're in the
Convertible.
Glee Club.
Yeah, well, the convertible
No, they're just
and
in
the,
better
yeah.
physical shape than we are.
Much better.
So, but that's too
There's
much
yoke.
effort.
Yes.
For one, that's far too
Absolutely.
much effort. Okay. Watch Joyce. Which of you writes the songs? Well, you know, that's both. I'm guessing.
Well, truth be told, Kurt writes all our songs.
And but he's
But
embarrassed to sing, so
I
we're here
am.
for it.
Because I'm,
true.
you know.
We both write the songs.
That
What's
makes one
Joyce?
whole girl sing.
Yeah, but she's huge.
Yes.
And buys a lot of records.
She's huge in Belgium.
Yeah, I'm clearly writing the music,
Right.
and he's writing the lyrics,
Yes, most of the time.
and there's plenty of crossover, and we've been doing this since we were
Or 16, 15 or 16, yeah. We started, you know, I'd seen them play in high school at uni, and I went, oh my God, like, you know, I saw them the year before at this thing called Unigra, which is like the sort of, you know, carnival at the end of the year.
The keyboard player's cute.
And I was like, he's adorable. I need to be in a band with him because I'm clearly the smart one. He can be the cute one. And I came into class one day wearing headphones the next year in English, and I was singing Revolution or something, and he heard it, and we met, and
I went, that's a great song.
yeah, I was like, I
You
wrote
write
that
that?
one. Yeah. Revolution number 5, and then we started writing together shortly after doing a bunch of covers, and we've been writing together pretty much straight through. So we've got, you know, a backlog, and we write, you know, and we write with other people, and Jordan
Right.
Zevon and some of the other illustrious artists that I can't
That we've
think
yeah,
of.
we've
I bottlenecked
written for
on
and
that one after Jordan.
played with. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we love, more than anything, I'd like to be a songwriter for the rest of my life. I think entertainment-wise, you know, you
Well, yeah,
become
you
a
can be a
grand
songwriter.
dame. You can't really be on stage when you're 70.
Some
you
people
can if
can.
you started.
Some people can.
But you can if you started when you were 20. Now, if Mick Jagger came out today and said, "Hi, everybody, I'm Mick Jagger, and I go like this, and I'm old," he wouldn't nearly have a career. He'd be like, "Hey, everyone, it's Don Knotts." You know, it wouldn't have happened like that. He had to have started when he was young to sort of carry that
Yeah.
momentum. Now
Well,
you
yeah.
can't turn him down
It
because
would
he's the
depend.
Duchess.
It depends what. Yeah, I guess it depends what musical field you're in. I mean, there would
Exactly.
Be,
Well, no, but you know, I mean, there is that time and place where dignity-wise, there's
Yeah.
there's a certain a lack of dignity
Yeah.
being
I'm nearly there already. trust
jumping.
me.
No, but you.
Yeah,
But
I just don't-
does he look fabulous? Come
No,
on.
I'm gonna imagine.
And the lighting here.
Nearly
I don't know.
retirement
and
age
trust me,
now.
I stood right behind him through it. It's all firm. Perfect.
It really is.
I bet you Roland doesn't look that good.
Oh dear, you're going to get there soon.
No, but yeah,
Oh, I'm blushing.
aye.
I'm looking at another question, although we seem to have answered that one as well.
Which one is
really,
it?
what bands inspired the band during your writing sessions? But I guess that's kind of depends on what you're writing.
Everything,
you
yeah.
know.
XTC, Elvis Costello, obviously, I'm a little nasal, so I always sort of sound like Elvis. The Beatles.
Commercials.
Anything
TV
really.
show themes.
All that jazz, the movie,
whatever.
the Bob Fosse movie, all that jazz.
For the last week with me, it's been Baby Monkey, Baby Monkey. Have you seen that thing yet?
What is it?
Oh,
Is it like one of those
see, If
YouTube
you see it, you're
clips?
not going to get it out of your head.
This is
yeah.
one of those things like that Americano thing with the hand
It's a
claps
very
and-
short clip, but the song you won't get out of your head. It's a monkey on the back of a pig, and
How
but
could
the
you go
song-
wrong?
The song is Baby Monkey, monkey riding on a pig, baby monkey, and that's it.
You know
But-
what? That's all it needs, kid.
Oh no, actually, the third line changes to riding backwards on a pig, baby monkey, because the monkey's
Oh,
riding
they
backwards.
change it up on you. there.
Well, the monkey
That's
is
middle-aged,
riding backwards,
yes.
and that's it. And then you've seen it, and then you're like, that's stuck in your head for a week. Thank
Really?
you.
You just saying that is stuck in my head for a
Yeah,
week. And I
that's
guess
gonna-
in Germany when they
Baby
redo it,
monkey
he's
on
going to
a-
shit on the pig. And there goes us playing you. There goes our Jesse Owens moment.
Lady Diode.
Yes. So yeah. So we.
Lady
So wait, how long does it? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't
How
wanna read
long?
that.
You just saw the how long. Bit,
I
wondered
looked
where
at
it was going.
Said how long, and then I crossed my legs tightly.
Does it take to write one of your songs?
Wow.
Morty once said.
I remember
It's a
me
three.
well.
Yeah. I remember he said it's a 3-minute song. It took us 2.5 minutes to write.
Yes. Most of the time, it all depends. I'm constantly writing lyrics. He's constantly writing music.
Right.
And then every now and then, like with one of the songs we're playing later, I was in the shower and I went, oh my God, here's this. Just a melody came to me and I ran out and I called him on his answering machine, left it on his answering machine, and that's a song called The Picture. And then he had something on Land of Canyons, the first song we played. He gave me something with a dummy of the lyrics, but with most of all of the melody intact and some of the lines in it. And I just went, all right. And a lot of times people just give me, stupid lyrics about me, Marty Schmuck.
But the
driving
picture
down
was
street.
done. The
Yeah, I
picture was
was right
done
there.
with.
I came up with some of the music on that one and
Yeah.
then said to him, and then he goes, here's what you're playing.
Right.
And it happens. Luckily, it happens in any faction. I mean, if anybody comes up with a germ of an idea or a good idea, we really want to jump on it because we're
Ideas-
not of that nature that anything we're doing is brain surgery. It's really not. I mean, we're very lucky to be able to write songs, and we're very and within the milieu of pop music, which is a generous field, but it's also something we really do bow at the altar of pop music, of classic pop music, from music from the 20s. I mean, you know, from early stuff. I mean, Somewhere Over the Rainbow is a beautiful song. So great that David Bowie ripped it off. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, you have all these wonderful songs with wonderful lyrics that will be around forever. And I think we just wanted to write standards.
Right.
Our dream is to write standards. Then I fuck them up by putting stupid SAT words in it, and then I go, oh, there's the Elvis Costello bug. But we really want to write standards that'll be around.
Do you think Elvis gets a little too wordy? Is that?
You know, it's not that. It's
he's too smart for himself.
It's not that. It's he works with what he has. I think I give him a tremendous. If it weren't for him, there would be a lot of other bands that wouldn't have the balls to use words in
also,
the same way
timbre
he
of his
does.
voice gets a lot of comparison. So if he uses more than 2 syllables, it's going to be like, copying Elvis Costello.
Yeah,
So
look
there's
out
like,
for Trent. Like I'm going to be doing that all day, you know, like, you know. But it's pop music, and so we're so grateful and wanting to give back to this, because it really is wanting to give back. We love pop, as I'm sure you do too, because and I mean, not to gush or anything like that, because I always thought the thing with Tears for Fears was, I thought the lyrics a lot of the time were overlooked. I thought a lot of even what you guys were doing, which was pop music, was sort of shrouded in this goth thing because it sort of looked like that, and there were other bands
because we were two people.
And there was, you know, and there was,
smiled.
it was dark, and well, it felt like that. It was all, and it is. I mean, a lot of it's psychoanalytic. Not to psychoanalyze you, but I always thought it was.
wanna lie down?
It was so, but it was so dark, but also so pop that it was undeniable. I mean, you really were the id of Wham's ego. You know what I mean? You really were. It was like that was a sort
I
of
was
thing.
sort of as
But that's how it was.
the
I mean,
id
not
of-
you know, but that's how it felt to me. It was sort of like these are complete.
But that doesn't go back to what you were saying, which is you are what you are. I mean, that's
Exactly.
it. You know,
You are
I could
every-
never spend. I could no sooner, you know, write a song with meaningless lyrics than I could be an acrobat. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, it's just not
I
within
admire
me.
that. I admire Beck, who ostensibly can write. I mean, would lose or anything. Who ostensibly could just kind of do lyrics to do lyrics. I feel like every song is a time capsule, and every song is a vessel of, oh my God, I need to give some import to this, because this. I mean, you know, in your own way, this might be the one.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be remembered forever and be the guy that wrote, like, they're coming to take us away, haha. And then that's your, you know, Kim Fowley, I believe. But that's the one where you hear
But
it.
you know that, okay.
That when you hear that and you go, yeah, hey, you know me, I'm the guy that goes, they're coming to take me away, haha. And you go, great, really? What else did you write? Well, then I wrote a song about my sheepdog, and one about, you know, getting old and the green grass of home. And, you know, it's not Rod McEwen every time, but it's, you want to add something to it from you. And so even with the pop music, I think, you know, even Yes Sir, That's My Baby will be around millions of years, you know, okay, trillions. But, you know, those songs will be around for a long time.
Around long enough for people to actually put different meanings. You know,
Exactly.
to decide what they're about themselves.
we would love to be like covered, and we just want the songs to outlive us. I mean, that's what it is.
Because making Whoopi now is in the ass. I mean, since the dating
right
game episode.
since the news.
It really is in the ass. Like now it used to just be like what you do, you're making whoopee.
That's
now
right.
it's like want to make some whoopee, and
That's where the cushion
fuck I
came
know,
from.
I just had Mexican food. So yeah, so it's a very different thing. And now I'm hoping Zoe and Beatrix are sleeping.
Yeah. I'm going to go to another question
Yes.
quickly, so we got to get back to some music at some point. You know, Mike's going. How many band members have you had since the very beginning?
Oh,
I
honey,
guess
I've had all of them.
Somehow
String section was
I know. They're softballs, right?
We've actually had a lot. I mean, we've been kind of
Ron
monogamous
Lieberman,
with
Ken Helmer, David Michelle, Josh Cramon, Luke Adams,
Jordan Zevon, Noah
Jordan
Shane,
Zevon,
Mott
Noah
Smith,
Shane,
Dan Rothschild, Jay Gore, and that's it, I think.
I think that's all of them.
Here, present.
Oh, Dave,
Okay,
Okay,
that's all of them.
two of them. Only two of them made it.
Phil
tonight.
Buckman.
Phil Buckman. There we go. Philip Buckman.
And what are the pins on the jacket?
Oh, the pins on the jacket.
Those
This
are
is the
Beatles.
Abaddon.
Yeah.
These are the Abaddon Beatle
I have
photos.
those four.
The Look
I
magazine.
have the 4 photographs in the studio.
Oh.
Actually, well, I bought them for the guy I work with, Charlton. I bought those 4
Love it.
Abaddon prints for him for the studio.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be like my big purchase. That and the Lenny Bruce poster of him at the second to last show.
You're going to buy it from him?
Those ones.
Yeah,
probably.
for me? I have one for sale, cheaply.
That
honest.
ooh well cheaply. And then this other one is for my daughter. We named her Beatrix because
Right.
I actually named her Beatrix because I wanted something that had the Beatles
Right.
in it, as tacky as it
Beatrix.
sounds or whatever. And so then I knew the minute I was like, you know, I don't smoke cigars, so I'm going to make pins for when she's born.
Right.
And I had them made and ready to go, and we took them to the hospital with us, and we're ready to give them out and poke people with them. And so that's how we came up with the name, the Beatles and George Carlin.
Love it. So let's get carry on with some. What song are you going to play next?
I believe this one is "Nobody Somewhere."
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and this is we think one of the what important. This is one of the songs that has to be us to know to see the people coming here and leaving.
No, and I do. I mean, and this one and. Actually, this one specifically to me when I was listening to it earlier is also. I mean, not only are you talking about people that were coming here and like be prepared for it, because everything's not going to be given to you. Trust me. But also, I felt that some celebrities could take the title of that and just learn something, which is, somewhere you're a nobody. Okay.
Absolutely, it's the small fish in the big pond,
Yeah.
and then you get here, and I mean, it's the big fish in the small pond, then you get here, and it really is. It's jarring. There's nothing. It only really works well for men here because you have the most beautiful women of every town in the world, and the minute they get off the plane, their egos immediately get shattered. And then they're just
And then
broken.
we pick up the pieces.
And they're broken, and the guy comes along with a shovel, and he goes like, "Hey, I live in Malibu." So yeah, it's a very jarring thing to come here and be the most gorgeous or the most intelligent, smart, the greatest singer, the best athlete, and then come into this pool of people, anywhere. And so here it really does. I think it really does break people down. And so
You got on the plane at 10, you land at 7.
Yes, we
That's funny.
Yeah, so that's our time change.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is Nobody
Come on
Somewhere.
back
We'll
in.
be resetting up microphones,
And then I will come back after a song and say our quick goodnights, and you will play us
which
out.
will take us 2 hours.
Yes.
We apologize to any of you that thought this was only going to be an hour broadcast.
Oh.
Nobody somewhere.
1,
Funny.
2, yeah.
She's sitting at a stoplight waiting. She's tapping on a dashboard, contemplating gridlock. The green lights don't mean anything here. LA has never seen a shortage of imported proteges to sort, order, and trade on a freeway to subordination. Somebody's always the toast of a small town. You show up with dreams that burn down when it turns out you're nobody somewhere. Yeah, you're nobody somewhere. She's sitting at an empty table, abandoned by the major labels and attendants. She drinks their flat champagne with her friends. Last call and now the panic sets in. Which after party will they get in? All depends on defending that campaign for a friend or friend of a friend. Fame is a rain cloud you follow around, but the raindrops all dry up when they touch the ground. When you're nobody somewhere. Yeah, you're nobody somewhere. You know I'm just barely, but name drop them all, and I bet that they rarely pick up when you call. When you're nobody somewhere. Yeah, you're nobody somewhere. They say the neon lights are brighter there. They say there's always music in the air. They say there's always music in the air. They don't care. But they don't care if static's playing on the radio. 'Cause even the back of a packed display case is attracted to somebody nobody know. Oh, oh. So welcome to somewhere where fame is eroding, our borders and our populations exploding. You're nobody somewhere. Yeah, you're nobody somewhere, and nobody knows. You're nobody somewhere.
one more song and then we're out. So special thanks to Jordan, Morty, Dan, Jay, All Day Sucker. Thank you very much. I won't clap up now. Thanks to New Tech, the TriCaster, of course. Digital. We need the HD. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. Not just saying. Just saying. Of course, thanks to the crew. Belated happy birthday to Elaine and Bobo.
Yay!
And you can subscribe to us on iTunes. So please do. You'll find us at stripdownlive.com, Stripped Live on Twitter. And of course, you can Blip TV on your Roku, all the rest. Check the other shows out that come from the Streaming Garage also. Stupid for Movies, Stupid for Dexter, Stupid for Fantasy Football. You can find them all at YouTube-Streamin Garage. Next week on the show, we have The Daylights. And until then, I will be saying my goodbyes. And All Day Sucker will play one more song, which I believe is Picture.
It is, the picture. The
Say
picture
thank you again to All Day Sucker.
Thank you to Kurt, Mike, and everyone. There's a picture somewhere of two people in love, and they're doing all the things people do when they're together. Now it's hidden in a drawer with the odd paraphernalia, and I fetch it every time that I feel I probably failed you. Yeah, I don't want to be in your memory. I wanna be in your arms. I don't wanna be where you used to be. I wanna be where you are. I was so sure I was right. Oh yes, I'm the big pretender. Resignation in my eyes, while my smile said, love me tender. Love me tender. Now I stay up all night till my short side is dilated. Just a picture, and I love you so much that I hate it. I don't want to be in your memory. I want to be in your arms. I don't want to be where you used to be. I want to be where you are. I don't want to be in your memory. I want to be in your arms. I don't want to be where you used to be. I want to be where you are. Yeah, we really had something. Yeah, you know we really had something good. Yeah, and something good is hard to find. Yeah, I really lost something. Yeah, you know I really lost something good. Yeah, and all I got's this reminder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you're doing all the things people do when they're together, and there's a picture somewhere, but it's turned down on a nightstand. A one night stand. I don't want to be in your memory. I want to be in your arms. I don't want to be where you used to be. I want to be where you are. Oh, I don't want to be in your memory. I want to be in your arms. Yeah, I don't want to be where you used to be. I want to be where you are. Yeah, I don't want to be in your memory. I want to be in your arms. Hey, I don't want to be where you used to be. I want to be where you are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Live long, we are All Day Sucker. Jordan Summers, Dan Rothschild, Jay Gore, and I'm Morty Coyle, your waitress for the evening. And thank you to to Kurt and Mike and Elaine and